Good morning, neighbors. Julian Todd here at Todd's Turf. Man, one question I do get asked a lot is, what kind of weed killer do you apply on your yard? And I say it always varies because it really depends on what kind of weeds you have, what time of year it is, the temperature, all of those things really do factor in. So I want to kind of let everyone know, what's best to use for their yard and when you can use it and just what to put down. One that I can definitely say every yard needs and everything benefits from is a good pre-emergent. Now, I usually get my pre-emergent down, I'm gonna say early March, late February. Some people like to put it down earlier than that. But for me, where I am, temperatures start to kind of warm up and cool off and warm up and cool off. So that's about the right time frame for me. One thing I also like to use for a pre-emergent and a post weed killer, once again, you can definitely find this at Lowe's, at Home Depot, Walmart. I even think carry it is Bio Advanced Season. Oh, there we go. Is Bio Advanced Season Long Weed Control for Lawns. Once again, it comes ready to spray. Like you see, it kills and prevents weeds for up to 6 months. So it does have a post and a pre-emergent in it. Covers about 9,000 square feet. Now, once again, I would definitely recommend reading the back for yourself and seeing what type of grass it can apply on. I have a Bermuda lawn, so of course Bermuda is one of the best growing grasses because it's so hard to kill. So I would still recommend reading, what you put down. One of the other sprays I like to use is the Prediamine by Sunnyland. $20 bottle. It comes as a powder form. You will have to mix it. Once again, all of your mixing instructions are inside. I've done another video. You can go and check that out about how to properly mix your pre-emergence, how much you should put down per square foot. Now, the main thing and the most important thing is knowing the square footage of your yard. That way, you know exactly how much you need to put down on your yard because you don't want to put down too much because a lot of turf grasses, when they're warm season or cool season, too much of anything is not good for your grass, as we all know that. So you don't want to put down too much pre-emergent and end up hurting your turf. Now, one of the things I like to do also is spot spray. I have a lot of good spot sprays for weed control because I don't always like to treat my yard for weeds in the summertime. If I have any, thankfully with a good pre-emergent, you don't get many to pop up. But one thing I do struggle with in this area is a lot of nut sedge. We have some onion grass that likes to pop up. I do have a Poana problem. People like to call it Poa. Have a Poana problem. Crabgrass is also an issue here. Now, a lot of these I don't have in my yard, but some of them I do have in the yards that I do treat around my area. Now, one thing I like to do is I kind of let my backyard grow a little bit. I do put down a small amount of pre-emergent in my backyard, but not enough because I do have my dogs back here, and so I just like kind of let that grass grow. But I use my backyard mostly just for experimental purposes. I like to always try a product before I use them on anyone else's yard, or try a product before I put them in my front yard. My backyard does grow thick as well. It's Bermuda also, but I like to make sure I try different things and find, the right recipe that works best for the average homeowner. One thing I like to use in my yard is Image. Image kills listed a bunch of weeds from nut sedge to dollarweed to annual bluegrass. That's Poana. A lot of people don't have that in their weed killer. A lot of weed killers don't have the Poana killer in their weed killer. It does a great job of taking care of that. Now, most Poana does die off once it gets cold, but if you can stop it from growing, that's even better. Now, with this, you're going to mix about 1 ounce per gallon. It does say 0.8. I tend to go a little bit over myself for some of the hard to kill weeds like nut sedge, but this is one of the things that you can use now. You can also use it throughout the summer. It will kind of brown your grass the warmer it gets, so I would definitely say be careful using this in the summertime because you don't want to kill your grass. One of the weed killers that I like to use now is this spray-in form of Image. Now, this particular spray-in form of Image really helps control crabgrass. And if you have a crabgrass problem, I would definitely say this is my favorite hose-in sprayer to use. Once again, these things can be found at Lowe's, they can be found at Home Depot. But check this out. If you've never used Image before, you can use it, and I guarantee you'll be happy with the results. But once again, if you have a crabgrass problem, go ahead and take care of it now while it's not growing too big. But like I said, plug it on the end of your hose, spray over your yard. Definitely make sure you don't want to overspray the same area twice. You don't want to get a double application. So kind of spray back up, and once again, we'll go through a lot of these things throughout the season, but I just want to show you a lot of the products that I use that can help your lawn look better. Fertilome, once again, crabgrass killer. Have a lot of neighbors that have a lot of crabgrass problems. And when I go around and I spot spray, this is one of the things that I like to use. Now, if you notice, this one right here does not have crabgrass killer in it. You can't use this and kill your crabgrass. It's not going to work. The best way to kill crabgrass is to prevent it. But if you do let it germinate and it does grow, the only thing you can do is dig it up, put some sand and dirt in that spot, let the grass grow back over it. Once again, that's for my Bermuda lawns, because we all know how Bermuda grows. So make sure you do that. But this Fertilome is a crabgrass killer. It's actually best to be used in cooler temperatures. Now, the main ingredients, of course, is your 2,4-D. Your main ingredients is going to be your 2,4-D, but it does kill crabgrass and broadleaf leaves and lawns. So you want to make sure that you read the instructions and find the correct. You want to make sure that you read the instructions and make sure you're using the correct weed killer for the weeds that you have. That is very important. Now, I also like to use High Yield. High Yield is another one that I like to use once again, but this is made for my sunny weather. So in the summertime, you'll see me switch to this when I go to spot spraying. What I found in my experience is that it does not yellow the grass as much as something like an Image or some of the other turf and crabgrass sprayers like this right here. This one is once again very good. A little bit more pricey. You have to go to a special store, maybe a Site One. Here in Huntsville, we have the fabulous people over at CT Garvin. Shout out CT Garvin, that carry this product, and it works great. The thing about your Image, your Fertilome, these take a little bit longer to work, but you can use these again after about 6 weeks. So you can always go back and reapply, but I would say wait at least 6 weeks because it does take some time for it to work. As far as this does tend to work within 7 to 10 days. You can see it starting to yellow, and it does, in my opinion, last a little bit longer when it comes to killing weeds and really getting rid of them. So I do like High Yield. Now, if you're looking for something just to kill off some weeds and some grass, you're looking to get ready to start a new flower bed, but you want to kill off a section of your grass, one of the things I like to use is this High Yield weed and grass killer. This is super concentrate. Once again, got this over at CT Garvin here in Huntsville. $16.85, not bad. It's super concentrated. You mix about 1.5 ounces per gallon. You spray the area, and it will kill everything. Do not use this weed and grass killer on your lawn. It will kill everything. I cannot put enough emphasis on that. This is for just that area. If you have, like we have an easement behind our gate, I like to walk behind my gate, close to my gate, and make sure I kill the grass or the weeds on the other side so they're not growing up under my fence. I do have a tendency to spray just a little bit of a line along my fence line, but you definitely want to be careful doing that, because as you spray along that fence line, the grass on both sides will die. So this is one of those things I like to do early in the spring before the grass really starts growing. It allows me to kill any of the weeds that are growing up under the fence already. I go back with my weed eater, I cut it down, and it just creates a nice line along the gate, but it makes it look really neat when you have, thick, luscious green grass. So and that's what we're all going for this summer. One of the last things I must point out is that I also have this Bio Advance all-in-one lawn and weed and grass killer, crabgrass killer. Once again, it lists the weeds on the back that it kills. This is about 4 ounces per gallon, so it does take a little bit more of this than it does some of your other weed killers because it's not as concentrated, but it does work great. Once again, your showing results are in the same amount of time, within about 7 to 10 days, just like it is with this one. But the difference in these two, this is a spot spray, this is a hose-in sprayer. This kills your weeds post-emergent. This kills your weeds post-emergent, and it does have a pre-emergent in it. So if I had to recommend any kind of pre-emergent, if you're not comfortable with like mixing your own, as far as just using the Sunnyland prodiamine to go down, I would definitely recommend using the hose-in kind by Bio Advance, because they do make a great product. Now, along with your spray pre-emergent that you can put down in your pump sprayer, we also like to use granule. Now, I like to use my granule pre-emergent early in some areas, and I like to use my spray pre-emergent in some areas. Once again, it's going to be depending on the amount of rain that you get. Now, one of the pre-emergent that I've used before is definitely Sunnyland. Once again, they make a great pre-emergent crabgrass control and a pre-emergent. The main ingredient in this one is going to be dimension. It's going to have about 1.07, excuse me, 0.172 of the active ingredient that really helps kill that. Another one that I like to use, once again, we're going to go back, we're going to show off our high yield brand. The main ingredient, once again, in here is dimension, and it's using about 1.25. Now, the average price of these bags, this one's going to run you close to 40 to $50. I think it's 55 now listed on their website. And this is going to run you between $35 and $45. So these two products are my favorite. But since we are here, let me go ahead and say CT Garvin, they have their own house blend. Their main ingredient in theirs is a prodiamine. It is a 007, and it's a great pre-emergent. Had to get it out of there. I like to use this one as well. Once again, it's going to be depending on your area, knowing what kind of turf you're dealing with, knowing the history of that turf, and kind of what weeds grow. With both of these being my crabgrass pre-emergence, I do like to use these on yards where I've seen crabgrass grow, annually. If you see they have a crabgrass problem the year before, the next year, early in that year, and definitely in that late fall, I like to go ahead and treat for it to make sure it doesn't germinate again. So the yards that I have used this on that have had crabgrass problems, I see less and less crabgrass each year, which is a good thing because it takes a while to kill off crabgrass. It's not one of those things you apply one time and you're done and you don't have to worry about it applying anymore. But for your yards where you just have your common weeds, where like your ground ivy, broadleaf weeds, I would definitely recommend getting those. And between the three of these, one thing I've noticed that when I've used this one, once again, this is prodiamine. When it comes to things like poana, I've seen a lot less in the grass. Definitely in my front, because my first year here, we moved into a house, so unfortunately I could not use any kind of pre-emergent, so I had to spot spray. That next year, I was able to use this one, once again, CT Garvin, prodiamine on my front, and I was able to use this one on my back area. Now, I did not have much crabgrass in my front yard, so that's why I didn't use the crabgrass pre-emergent. I did not have that much, but I had a little bit in my backyard, which is why I went with the Sunnyland professional crabgrass control, and they both work great. But I would definitely recommend using the kind of pre-emergent depending on whatever kind of weeds you have in your yard. If you want your yard to look just as beautiful as it can, hey, follow these tips. Always, please make sure to hit that notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and we can keep you guys updated on everything we use to make our yard as beautiful as it can be. I'll see you all later. Y'all have a good day.